Okay, it's got to be around 6 or 7 o'clock, same Sunday. A lot of work. I don't know that this is really worth it to do it this way, but it's worth it to me because I'm learning something, you know. Let me show you what I did, and then you'll have an idea. So far, I've patched up. I had to make a template, as you can see. Ouch! And I've patched up that hole and that hole. I still have the center hole to patch up and the cigarette lighter hole. And of course, there's a lot of little holes that need to be repaired on the entire dash, as well as flanges that are broken. But I'll get that. First thing, I'm going to get these holes patched up. The what do you call it, resin, for fiberglass, and try to get the center smooth, as smooth as possible. Then then hopefully the gauges will be in by then, and I'll lay out the gauges and drill my holes, wherever they need to go, and I'll cover it with. If I've got it smooth, I can either paint it or I can cover it with carbon fiber vinyl, which is my preference. That's what I want to do. Anyway, this is step one, or it's the beginnings of step one. We got a lot more to do, but she's pretty tough. It's pretty tough. It welds really nice, essentially, you cut your pattern, and then you've got two heads. One, I would say, is the welding one, and then this one is the smoothing out one. And essentially, you just take pieces of plastic, lay it in there, and then weld it down. Lay it and weld it. Lay it, heat it up, it melts, and then kind of push it into the crack. And as you're pushing into the crack, you're heating up the plastic on both sides, and it's all bonding together. It's all becoming one. Now there's another thing I may try. I'm told that if you take the pieces of ABS plastic, and, cut this up really fine, and mix it with acetone, pure acetone, not the stuff you put in your fingernails, pure acetone. It becomes, they call it glue, and then a slurry, and you can sand it. So after I get this welded, I may try putting the slurry on it first and sanding that and see how that turns out before I'm going to make slurry and then sand it down, and then before I put the fiberglass on it, or the Rondo. We'll see. This is a learning experience, but if you're going to build a custom dash, this is one alternative. I mean, there's a lot of good people that have made some great videos. Sprayway's made a cool ass video with using floss and fiberglass and sanding. It's a lot of work. Comes out, it comes out beautiful though. So this is another option. If you're looking for a street rod dashboard, you want to use your original dashboard. You just want to, put new gauges in it. Well, this is one way to do it. Okay, I'm on day 2 of this dash reconstruction, and as you can see, this side was broken, so I just welded on a new piece of ABS plastic. It's supposed to look like this, and hopefully it will when I'm done, but right now it's just rough. I just welded it on, the tab, and I've made the template to cut my next piece of plastic out for this. As you can see, this has still not been sanded. That's how it looks like after you've welded it from the back. And that's after it's been sanded a little bit. You know, I'm learning just like you guys on this one. They're learning through me, and any fuck up I make, you won't make. But so far, I don't think it's such a bad way to go. As you can see, that's pretty smooth right there. I mean, I have that's just a rough. I welded it in, I've sanded it, so that's rough. This is a little bit rougher, but it's smooth. It's where I want it to be on the sides. I can hand sand a lot of that. And remember, we're putting carbon fiber inside here, so it really doesn't matter that much, but I'm going to try to make it as nice as I can. There's the tab, as you can, that I made, and we'll see. I mean, this thing's got lots of boogers in it, man. It's got a hole here, it's got a hole here, it's got a hole here. Whoever had this car before me really put holes in his dash for whatever reason. He had no problem with it, you know. But we'll get it. We broke the tabs off the side, but I'll get it. You start with something rough, and we'll see if I can make a purse. What is it, a silk purse out of a sow's ear? Anyway, I've been sanding this down, and it sands pretty easy, actually. The panel, the plastic sands pretty good. Not easy, but it's doable. The idea, I'll just show you what I've done so far. There were holes here, and you've got some indentation inside lines. Don't worry about that though, because later on you'll make a slurry. That's using the plastic, the ABS plastic remnants mixed with acetone. It becomes like a gel. Well, it's a little lighter than a jelly. It's a slurry, and you paint the slurry on, and that'll chemically bond to the plastic. But if you remember correctly, the holes on this side, they're all gone. Over top of this, they're all gone. I'll give you a better shot at the dash. I've gotten that hole gone, I've got that hole gone, and that hole gone. I still have to take that one out. I've patched this termination in, and I have to drill the hole just like this side. I'm just fixing little things as I go. You remember this side was damaged, right? It's broken off. Well, I fixed this side. It didn't turn out that great, but it didn't turn out bad either. I added a piece of plastic down here. It's solid, and it follows the contour, so I'll be able to sand that and paint it. This was broken, so I fixed that. You know, and as we go, we'll fix, and we'll grind, and we'll sand, and we'll get it right. Now, once we get this blank, I'm going to call this a blank. Once we get a blank dash built, then I'll be able to cut my holes. I'll be able to identify where I want to put the holes for my gauges, cut them, and then set the gauges where I want to put them. You know. Anyway, it just takes time. So the steps are: you cut out, you make yourself templates. Okay. You cut your plastic out, your ABS plastic, out of sheets of plastic. You use a welding torch, a welding rod, to weld them in little by little. You just using scrap ABS material as your filler. And once you get it to that point, you sand it. You sand all the rough edges down. Actually, to give you an idea, when you weld it in, it's going to look like this. Take a look at the back. You see how it's welded? It'll look like that. And once you weld the blanks in, you sand it, and it brings you to the front where we're at now. I still have more sanding to do. It gives you a nice flat blank, And then what you'll do is you'll take your slurry and you'll wipe your slurry on it, and that'll fill in all these little spots. You do it flat, and it'll kind of like self-level. And then you sand that down even some more, and hopefully I'll have a nice flat dashboard to work with that's fixed. I'm still going to have my turn signals where I wanted them. This, instead of it being an inspection, transmission indicator, it's going to be lights. I'm going to have my check engine light. I'm going to have my brake, emergency brake cable, my master cylinder brake light. Make sure that you have your emergency brake light, you know. And what more can I tell you? We'll see. I'm still having a problem laying out my gauges. I don't think I can get 6 gauges on this. I don't know. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if I could squeeze 5 into 6, that would be great. If I can't, well, then I'll have to make something here, you know, something rounded, and that'll be my 6 gauge. I'll probably aim that upward, you know. Maybe the amp gauge be down here. I'm not quite sure yet. We'll have to see how this thing goes. It's a learning thing, you know. Like I said, we're learning together, right? But yeah, this is one way to build a dash in a car that uses custom gauges. Take a factory dash, and you can make it do whatever, you know, make it whatever you want. We'll see. And then of course, after you've finished everything, you got to paint it with a adhesive promotion, adhesive promoter. Then you've got to paint it with a vinyl dye or a vinyl paint. Either one, from what I understand, will work good, you know. Anyway, I'll bring you back when I'm ready to do the slurry, I guess. I have this one hole to cut. You don't want to see me do that, but you know, essentially, I've gone through many of these. This one's broke, but you just cut it. You cut the whole thing out, and you cut your piece, and you weld it in, and then you sand it. All right, I'll bring you back when I get to the slurry part. Talk to you later. Okay, I'm going to try to make a video of me doing the work to give you an idea of what's going on here. All right. I don't know if you can see me. Let's see if I can play with this a little bit better. All right. As you another secret for you is what you do is when you sand the plastic, save it on a little tray and take your iron and just dab it into the powder. It puts it on the edge, gets real hot as you can see, and then you can kind of like massage it in. And it's easier to work with that powder than it is heavier stuff that you have to melt down. So I keep a little bit right here next to me, and I just dab it. As you can see, she's starting to smoke. And then I wipe it on. Dab it. And you know, it's cool. You can even have paper underneath it. Your iron picks up the powder, but it doesn't burn the paper. I guess if you kept it there long enough it would, but when you're just trying to, we're just trying to weld this in. I liken this to putting on body putty. Except with body putty, it's pretty simple. You don't have to heat everything up and make it mate. You just have to sand it real good. I will change it to the other iron head shortly. Right now I'm just trying to weld it, make it one piece. And I'm working on the front. Usually I start on the back. I don't know why I'm doing the front. I guess, I don't know. Get caught up in the moment, I guess. Where the hell are you? Son of a bitch. As you can see, there's the patch. It's just plugged and it's like touched up from the other side. We're gonna make it like that. We're gonna cake it on. Now that will be sanded to be like that at a later date, but you still leave a good portion of it because it doesn't really matter in the back. All that's doing is keep making it strong, you know?